Today we are giving felt monsters to kids at Adams that are in kindergarten.
So in middle school, family and consumer sciences, in 7th grade we learn more about how to sew on the machine, but also hand sewing. And then in 8th grade we do a lot of embroidery. So we spent 2 weeks at the beginning of the year doing an embroidery project, so learning all those hands like running stitches, a French knot, how to, make the design come to life.
So the kindergartners, they colored in pictures of monsters, and for a unit we had to make the monsters for them. We just had to sew and recreate the monsters in real life.
We spent a week with their drawings and we had to copy them, and we had to basically sew together a bunch of felt pieces that had stuffing in them. It was very difficult, but I knew that it would be fun once we got to the end, because then we got to actually give it to them, and I was very excited about it.
So luckily a lot of middle and high school in the area get to do this project. So I'm only a second-year teacher, so when I saw it on the curriculum page, I knew it was something I really wanted to do. Not a lot of middle and high schools get to have the opportunity to deliver the monsters to the students, so that was something that I reached out to my administration in August about.
It was fun seeing their reactions and how they told me how they're going to show their family and how they've been waiting for this and stuff. So that was fun, and just seeing how happy they were when they got to see it.
We just also finished up wrapping up our child development unit, and so we learn about, in 7th grade we learn how to care for children, and then in 8th grade we go into the physical, social, emotional, intellectual development of kids. So since we just wrapped that up about 2 weeks ago, seeing them interact with kids as well was super cool for them to kind of practice that skill set as well.
That was really cool because they noticed every single detail that I did on it. It gave me something to look forward to, and I had a really good end result, and I know that I can do that with other things too.
I think anytime you can be out of the classroom or doing something hands-on is super important. That's part of the reason I became a family and consumer sciences teacher. There's a lot of cooking, sewing, hands-on things. I think that gives them that extra motivation of there's something else we get to do rather than just, sit in a classroom and learn from hearing, but they were learning from seeing these real-life experiences as well.
Yeah, they loved it. They've been looking forward to it for a while and really excited and very talkative.
Thank you.
This meeting of Lincoln Public Schools Board of Education for January 14th is called to order. Laura, would you call the roll?
Ms. Byer.
Here.
Mr. Boswell.
Present.
Mrs. Danick.
Here.
Mr. Mayhew.
Present.
Ms. Mumgard.
Here.
Dr. Rauner.
Here.
Mr. Shrivastov.
Present.
Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted and available at the main entrance of the room. We have minutes from our December 10th board meeting for approval. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, the minutes stand approved as published. For special reports, we have an employee recognition for 25 years of service.
We should have a drum roll.
Well, good evening, Board of Education. This is the fun part of my job, is to celebrate. When I was a principal, I loved graduation, and so I see this kind of as a graduation after 25 years of service to Lincoln Public Schools. So we are honored to have all of these fine employees that have been with us at least 25 years. What we will ask them to do is just come up and introduce themselves to you and to let you know what their current assignment is, and then we will go from there. Thank you.
Doug Weatherholt, I'm at North Star High School.
Yes, you are. First kid at graduation does that too.
Eric Vosick. I teach physical education, and I'm at an amazing school named Keho.
Debbie Barron. I teach at Scott Middle School, and I teach 6th grade humanities. Sarah Anderson. I teach 6th grade math at Lux.
I'm Allie Arndt. I teach 6th grade math and science. This is my 20th year at Lux.
Hi, I'm Julie Kruger. I'm full of night pride, and I teach English at Lincoln Southeast.
Hi, I'm Sharon Brenning, and I'm a 3rd grade teacher at Meadow Lane Elementary.
Levon Schwebke, Arnold Pear for the last 25 years. Same school.
Hi, I'm Heather Burback, and I teach special education at Friedstrom.
I'm Lisa Kolbaum, and I teach computer and music at Human Elementary School.
Rhonda Meyer, Administrative Assistant in Federal Programs.
Darby Umholtz. I've officially spent over half my life in human resources for Lincoln Public Schools. I work with our Smart Find system and with student teacher placements.
I'm Angie Ertz. I am the Special Education Coordinator at Lincoln East High School.
Hi, I'm Jenny Anderson, and I'm the Associate Principal, one of them, at East High School.
Hi, I'm Joe Schlegelmelch. I'm the Associate Athletics Activities Director at Lincoln East High School.
Hey, good evening. Steve Swinehart, Lincoln East, 25 years, all of my years at Lincoln East, English department. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vicki Fosnot. I'm the Executive Secretary at Randolph Elementary.
Hi, I'm Tondi Hager, and I teach 2nd grade at Riley.
I'm Eileen Schmeichel. I teach at Zeman, and I teach 1st grade, and every day is an absolute pleasure.
I'm Mary Fultner, and I teach grades 6 through 8 band at Mickle Middle School.
I'm J. Marie Hansen, and I teach 7th grade science at Scott Middle School.
Thank you all.
We're so quiet when we do that. We're so polite.
Somebody needed to bring the big air horn.
All right. Our next item is public comment. Blue cards are available at the entrance to those wishing to speak. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes. But we have no blue cards, so we'll move on to consent agenda. Kathy.
I would like to remove item F for Dr. Scrutta on the human resource agenda and place it in the public discussion area at the end of the meeting.
Okay. I'll come back to us on item number 12. Is there a motion for approval of the remaining items of the consent agenda? Kathy?
I would move to accept the remainder of the human resource matters and the routine business items.
Okay. Is there a second? Barb?
Yeah, I second that.
Any questions, comments, or conflict statements? I have one. Out of an abundance of caution, I hereby declare a potential conflict of interest and hereby abstain from voting on agenda item 8.2A, regular claims for the period ending January 14, 2025. As shown in the agenda materials for this meeting and all matters as reflected in my potential conflict of interest statement filed herewith, my vote is in favor of consent as a vote in favor of all other consent items except those upon which I have hereby abstained. Laura, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Byer,
Yes.
Mr. Boswell,
Yes.
Mrs. Danick,
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew,
Yes.
Ms. Mumgard,
Yes.
Mr. Shrivastov,
Yes.
Dr. Rauner.
Yes. Next for first reading, item 9.1.1 from board committees, newly annexed property to the city of Lincoln. Barb.
Yes, I will turn this over to Scott Wieskamp.
Yes, this parcel's about 29 acres in northeast Lincoln near Waterford Estates. It's just another addition for residential. About 89 acres roughly equates to, or 27, 28 acres equates to about 90 residential rooftops. So just to put that into perspective, and again, it's Waterford again growing. That's East High, Keller, and Robinson Elementary are the attendance areas. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions?
I have one.
Kathy?
Scott, how long before this is grown out where we have the houses fully in place?
This addition could be built out in a couple of years, and there'll be more additions that are part of Waterford Estates that will come before you as that area continues to grow to the east. So about 2 years and all those houses will probably be
Okay.
built out.
So we're still growing?
Yes.
Thank you.
Other questions? This will come back to us at our next meeting. That's it for first reading. Second reading, 10.1.1, another newly annexed property of the city of Lincoln. Barb?
Yes, I move to approve 10.1.1, newly annexed property to the city of Lincoln, and this concerns the Norwood Park Elementary School, Dawes Middle School, and Northeast High School. I move approval.
Is there a second? Don?
A second?
Any discussion? Laura, would you please call the roll? If there's no questions. Scott, you have something to add, Scott?
When we talked about this about a month ago, this is all industrial. It's just one parcel, so there will be no residential units on this piece, just so you know that.
Like ever? I don't think it's guaranteed.
Yeah, is it, yeah, it
Some
must be
guy living
zoned
in
for
the plant,
industrial,
maybe.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
until we start making warehouses into houses again.
All right, Laura, would you call the roll?
Yes.
Mrs. Danick?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Ms. Mumgarde?
Yes.
Mr. Shrivastov?
Yes.
Ms. Byer?
Yes.
Dr. Rauner?
Yes. We have no expedited emergency actions. Number 12, items removed consent agenda. We have one item. Kathy?
I would move approval of item F on the human resource agenda. It's a contract amendment for Dr. John Scretta to be the interim superintendent, and it was removed for discussion. I would move that we approve it.
Okay. Is there a second? Don?
A second?
Okay. Kathy, you have comments?
I do. For those that were wondering, why did we take this off the consent agenda? The most important thing the Board of Education does is to hire and evaluate a superintendent. Our superintendent retired in December, and we are very fortunate to have a seasoned superintendent already on our staff. He has 9 years of experience as a superintendent. He has 4 years running an ESU. Both of those are part of Lincoln Public Schools. Additionally, he got his start in Lincoln. I got to know him many years ago when my children were at Lincoln Northeast. So I've known Dr. Scretta for a very long time, and I hope my colleagues will join me in supporting this motion for the contract addendum for Dr. Scretta.
Barb?
I've gotten to work with Dr. Scretta as a member of the GRACE Committee, which is Government Relations and Community Engagement, and I have to say that he has been excellent in that role. And I also agree with Mrs. Danick on his previous experience at Norris. And my dental hygienist recommends her kids go to Norris. So of course, I have to base it on that. Anyway, I am looking forward to working with you in your new role.
All right.
I have one more thing.
Piyush, then Kathy.
Yeah, I'll also repeat what Barb said, that I've been fortunate to get to work with you, John, in the GRACE Committee. But also, we've gotten emails from people in the community saying how good their experiences have been with John Scretta. And I've been approached by people in random places at restaurants, unknown people who would come up to me and said, we're very happy that you guys have picked the right person. And they would narrate a story or two about Dr. Scretta. So that tells us that, people in the community are excited about working with Dr. Scretta as our new interim superintendent. So we're looking forward to working with you, John.
All right. Well, I've also got numerous comments as well. People walk up to you. It's interesting. We do value community input, so we do like hearing your opinions. I've heard from retired teachers, Rotarians, Chamber of Commerce, and so it's been nice hearing those. And I've been known John for about, I think, 15, 16 years. Started out in school health before I was with LPS while he was at Norris. So look forward to working with you. Oh, yeah. Andy.
I haven't got to work with you very often, John, but I do want to say that we had to move fairly quickly, and it was very nice for the community to know that we had experience on hand to be able to move to, because, one of the most important, as Kathy says, our important job is we hire the superintendent and we have to supervise it, and it's kind of was a big, suddenly, what are we going to do type question, and it was nice that we had at hand. Honestly, we have at hand 5 to 6 people that we could have said, would you please help us out, run it through? But also, they're all doing some really important works. I want her to go back working on the budget. I love you, Liz. Nice to have you up here. But when you put where your skills are. So I will say that the few conversations that we've had was I've been impressed when you have said, this is something I know about Lincoln, and this is what's valuable about Lincoln. And this was couple months ago when it was no need for him to get on my good side whatsoever, besides being on the board, I suppose. And I just was really impressed by the fact that you saw some of the really solid things about Lincoln and why you wanted to work here. So when your name was brought up and we knew we needed to move quickly, it just felt like, we got somebody who knows knows what he's stepping into and knows what is at stake here, and the district that we so love and work so hard to continue it as a solid and strong district that works for the children and supports our teachers and our staff. And from the comments I've had from you, I would say that I'm really happy that we were able to turn to you and ask you to do this.
Okay, just so the community knows, this is for a period of 18 months. That's a year and a half. Hiring a superintendent takes time, and this gives the Board of Education for the next 18 months the opportunity to either do a search, make this a permanent choice. All those options are on the table. Dr. Scretta was well aware of this. He will be resigning his position as civic engagement, which he's also really talented in that field too. And right now he's doing both jobs. And so the community is aware. We do compensate our superintendent for those additional efforts and want them to know that we are compensating our superintendent for those additional efforts as well. So thank you so much. That's part of this contract language. And if anybody has questions, they know my phone number. It's in the book.
All right, Laura, would you call the roll?
Mrs. Danik?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Ms. Mumgard?
Yes.
Mr. Srivastava?
Yes.
Ms. Byer?
Yes.
Mr. Boswell?
Yes.
Dr. Rauner?
Yes.
Hey, if I could just take a second here, I just want to say how grateful I am to the board for bestowing this opportunity to serve in the interim capacity. Greatly appreciative of your support, and to earlier comments made, this is an amazing team. We have an amazing team at every level throughout the Lincoln Public Schools, and I think the 18-month interim provides us with an opportunity to establish some consistency and visibility in the interim superintendent role going forward, and it empowers the future board rather than handcuffing the future board, and that makes all kinds of sense. And we know that with upcoming board elections, there will be some board turnover, and it's important to provide that board the opportunity and the discretion to determine how they place the superintendency going forward. This being said, it's such a privilege to be able to step into this role, and I'm so grateful for the support of my colleagues, fellow associate superintendents in particular, whom I get to work so closely with every day. And just want to also take a second to offer some words of reassurance to our staff, because I know that when there's a time of transition, a logical question is to say, what's next? What's happening? What new changes will be imposed from the district level? And I just want to commend our Board of Education for the due diligence and the process that proceeded through 2024 with the adoption of a strategic plan. And I just want to clarify for our district that consistency looks like targeting those strategic plan goals in the areas of student and staff well-being and outcomes, and family and community engagement, and others, and that we have measurable targets that have already kind of set the course for us going forward. And I just am really excited to have the opportunity to work with the amazing, dedicated LPS team, our staff, our teachers. I mean, think about who we just recognized tonight and the incredible leadership impact that that cohort of the 25-year staff celebration exhibits. It's amazing. And the reference point for me is that it's demonstrative of the fact that leadership is a collective endeavor. It's about us, and it's about the impact we have together. And I look forward to working together with all of you in the coming months. So thanks so much.
I'd also like to thank Liz for stepping in for a couple weeks there, and thankfully you got to avoid a tough snow call on Sunday. It turned out to be nothing, so not too tough, hopefully, but thank you. Informational items, anything from the board committees? Anything from special appointments? Anything from our acting superintendent?
I would just have 3 quick things. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the board for your extraordinary leadership through the transition. It's always a pleasure to work with all of you. So you did an exceptional job communicating and really walking us through this transition, and thank you. With the snow day averted, just want to report very successful close to first semester. Second semester is underway. We have an amazing team, and I am personally very excited to work with Dr. Skreda. I know we all are, so we will charge ahead with his leadership, and we're just headed into second semester strong. And with that, I'd conclude the report.
Great. And nothing from the financial side, huh?
Nothing from the financial
Just put that
side,
in
unless
there,
you have
yeah.
questions about the
No.
monthly financial report.
Okay. All right, announcements for upcoming board events. January 15th, the GNSA meeting in Senator Social, 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. I have to clarify that time. I thought it was 7, but January 20th, the holiday, no school, all levels, LPS closed. January 26th is the NASB Legislative Issues Conference in Lincoln, as well as January 27th. And then January 28th, we're back here for a board meeting at 6 p.m. at the Steve Joel District Leadership Center. There's no other public comment and no request for a closed session, so the meeting is adjourned.